Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Magic Mics, proudly sponsored by our Patreon supporters and CoolStuffInc.com, where you can find cool stuff in stock every day, and our co-sponsor Cardhoarder.com, offering the best inventory prices and delivery of cards for Magic Online. I am Evan Irwin, and we get started this week by saying hello to my two co-hosts, Aaron Campbell.
Hello, everybody.
Ruben Presley.
You got to get the webbing. You have to.
Oh yeah, we'll do that.
You got to get the webbing. You got to get your nails.
For our podcast listeners, Ruben is cleaning
washing
his
my hands to
Washing.
the.
You have to do it to the rhythm of our intro.
Yeah,
right. And I've been doing that every time I've washed my hands since it got tweeted to us.
Seriously, that's great.
Yeah, every single time.
I'll not lie, I did it today. I was just like, does it really work? And I was like, oh my god, this is actually like
Good
20
time.
seconds exactly.
Yeah.
Well, we also get started with our Trumpet Blast. You can get one if you support us at our highest level on Patreon. Ain't got one, but we also have a giveaway. $50 gift certificate to CoolStuffInc.com. Type !raffle in the chat right now for your chance to win and subscribe. First to get 2 chances to win. So you get 2 chances if you subscribe to us. So get that subscribe. Use the Bezos bucks if you want to. And you're also helping support content creators. Thank you so much. Things are crazy out there.
And wallets are tight. People are losing income. You're home. You have a lot more content that you can enjoy. You're also just home. I don't think people tend to listen to podcasts on the go or when they're doing things. I don't know many people who listen to them when they're stationary. So I'm very happy to see each and every one of you here. I was expecting there to be a bit of a decline. So I'm really glad that doesn't seem to be the case so far.
Thank you guys so much. And for the podcast listeners, do note that I actually cut out the giving away of the gift certificate and the thanking of the subscribers and the bit givers. But that is part of the show if you're a part of the live experience.
I didn't know that. I have never.
I noticed that
the podcast.
Yeah,
I feel like, feel free to let me know if that's a mistake. I feel it's one of those things that's as a podcast listener, you're not getting that much out of it as you weren't a part of the live experience.
Yeah, man. Give the live viewers a little something as a treat.
I think it's fine for the podcast, but I know it can be a little confusing for me when I go back and watch the YouTube and there are just these very abrupt cuts where it's like, and I've noticed some people in the comments are like, where did that go? And it was like,
because I cut it.
Is this meta conversation going to end up in the final cut also?
It might as well. It's fine. Right. That's the whole reason I pointed it out, for what it's worth.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay, so we get started here with our first pick, and we'll have plenty of time to talk about all of our topics. There aren't a ton, but let's get started here with the Spellbook. The new signature Spellbook is Chandra. Chandra's signature flair and style evokes the very best of the fiery planeswalker, and it has a collection of cards, and they've only revealed 2 of them. There's going to be 8 cards plus 1 premium foil version of one of those 8 cards at random, which is always interesting. And here on the screen right now, if you're watching us, we have Chandra, Torch of Defiance, and Past in Flames in 2 brand new frames. They look super duper sweet, and obviously with Chandra, Torch of Defiance being in this thing, the value is already showing up.
Yeah,
right.
Past in Flames is gorgeous. This was debuted on the Professor's channel. He got the opportunity to reveal this to the world with the help of Blake Rasmussen and Christine Sprinkle, who was Chandra in the video, the Queen sort of officially returning to Tolarian Community College. And this was really, really nice to see. It really kind of... there was this sort of ripple effect where, like, after the video posted, there wasn't a lot of talk about it until people actually watched it. And then, like, you could see sort of the buildup of, oh my God. Because normally people will just sort of cut to the good stuff. They'll kind of just go through it. But when you've got Christine and the Professor together, you sit through that. You sit through every minute of that. And people actually watched it. And then all of a sudden, 15, 20 minutes later, it was like, oh my God. And then, the news came out, the images came out. And this is gorgeous. I think this is going to be a big hit.
Absolutely. $15 to $20 for Chandra TOD with the original Magali art, which I'm glad they kept.
If it's there's no MSRP these days, so
no, I'm saying for regular fresh out the Kaladesh packs.
Oh, I see. Oh, wow.
And then Past in Flames are like $5 a piece.
Right.
I'm gonna guess $8 a piece.
Gorgeous.
And that's a gorgeous new art as well. And then you have 6 other cards that we don't know yet. That place your bets on what's going to be in there.
Yeah.
I would think something like Chandra's Ignition is like the central kind of piece of what Chandra is and was. I would imagine you're going to have something like Incinerate, like an old classic like that, and some stuff in between.
I assure you, these are probably the most expensive cards that are in the box.
And
these Chandra's Admission, surprisingly, I think a $5 card. Like, it's not nothing.
Oh wow! Well, and again,
it's like an EDH staple.
If I'm thinking of the right card,
Right. Red Elemental Blast was mentioned in the chat. Thank you, Cutie Mark Mason. That's a really cool idea.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of things that they can kind of pepper in at this point because, like, you already have my attention.
Please, Cathartic Reunion.
Like,
yes. Oh my God. But can you really top that? I mean, that art alone, that art, you could just really leave that alone, or put a good frame on it. Okay.
Right. You can put it. It'd be fine. Gideon's showed up last year, and it had a copy of Gideon Jura, the Planeswalker Gideon Jura. But that's not Chandra Torch of Defiance. That's not a modern played type of.
It also had something else which we don't speak of.
Right.
That's true.
Rip.
Right.
What what was the money card in the Gideon spellbook?
The Gideon spellbook was probably a Rest in Peace Path to Exile.
Path to Exile.
Yeah,
you gotta say rip.
Rip.
F in chat. Rip.
Yep.
Rip in pieces.
Yep.
Pepperonis. And
True
then Jace.
True Conviction was also a big
True Conviction.
card.
Sure.
That was a good one.
And then Jace had Brainstorm Days.
Brainstorm Counterspell, Mystical Tutor.
Geez.
Blue
Jace
Elemental Blast and the original Jace Beller and Baby Jace. Along with
so if Blue Blast was in Jace, then Red Blast will be in Chandra.
I would expect it.
That makes sense.
Yeah, this is one of those things where they like to kind of sort of have rhythms and rhymes, almost poetry. Like we're like, okay, this one is the red, this one is the blue. Let's keep moving.
Right.
With that. And again, and all the different artworks were great, and the frame treatments are fantastic. And this is something that's sold through WPN stores, so that's a good thing for WPN stores. But I have seen these at big box stores as well. I certainly remember seeing the Gideon one at Walmart at one point or other. So do keep that in mind.
And these are foil only?
No, only one card is foil in the box. There's
okay, good. Because I like that
random
Pass and Flames, but I just don't want foil.
Right. So you'll only have, man, how unlucky would Erin be if she got Spellbook Chandra and got foil Pass and Flames? Son of a... I wanted the regular. I'm sure you'll find someone who can trade you a regular pass.
I don't think they're going to have Lightning Bolt in this because Lightning Bolt is just too expensive, quote unquote. This is where we ride that line of Wizards doesn't pay attention to the secondary market, quote
it's too
unquote.
Expensive, but it's also not Chandra. Like Lightning Bolt is a red card, but Chandra herself does not throw lightning bolts. Like that's not.
No. Right. I mean, we have Chandra and we have Past in Flames. I can't imagine we'll have another. We'll have one other $5 card.
Just give me. I want the Lily box. Give me the Veraska box, the Lily box. Like yes, that's
Liliana's gonna come soon. Nissa probably too.
All right, so Secret Lair, Wizards of the Coast. I have said for quite a while. Oh yeah.
Keepers.
I have said for quite a while. Wizards are going to run to the fetch lands. How long?
Oh, that's right.
Before Secret Lair fetch lands happened, and sure enough, here we go. The Secret Lair Ultimate Edition is quote unquote making fetch happen. But also note, because this is not a drop series, this is the Ultimate Edition, then you're only going to be able to get the Ultimate Edition from your local game store, which is kind of awesome, right?
Cool.
But it turns out that all the things that make Secret Lair cool, in my opinion, which is you can only get them for a certain time, and you have to essentially show up and get get whatever you want in that time period, is missing from here. So let's go ahead and lay it out, and I'll bring it up here on the screen so you guys can take a look at it because they are gorgeous. This is
that Verdant Catacombs is the wallpaper on my laptop and my desktop. It is gorgeous.
These are the 5 enemy fetch lands, the ones that showed up in Zendikar. They have all new artwork. They're from different planes, which are terrific. For example, Amonkhet is in the Arid Mesa.
Love it.
And of course, Innistrad is in the Verdant Catacombs.
Ixalan, they gave Seb Misty Rainforest.
Yep. And it looks like that looks like a Zendikar Scalding Tarn. And is that a Lorwyn Marshflats?
Yeah.
Lorwyn Marshflats. Dominaria is the Scalding Tarn.
Dominaria is the Scalding Tarn.
Very nice. So yeah, these things are absolutely gorgeous. But note that these 5 lands come into a commemorative box that can be used for display. This box is kind of ginormous. Like,
it's ginormous. There were some people on Twitter that were like, this isn't really environmentally friendly. Like, this is a lot of crap.
What is that box doing? Like,
really?
Why is that box doing that?
Does it need to be that large? Seriously?
No.
They note they were looking to combine Secret Lair's brand of exciting art with cards players want in their local game store.
Sure.
And there used to be this thing called From the Vault. And From the Vault was a limited series of cards.
Never heard of it.
Each store could only get so many based on their WPN level, which they could then resell for whatever the market decided they could resell for.
Yeah.
That's literally what is happening here. Your local game store is only get so many, and they're going to sell it for whatever they decide to sell it for, because again, there's no MSRPs anyway. It was suggested, kind of said, well, maybe, it would kind of come along with a Commander Anthology, which sold for about $165 or so, which means this could be $165-ish from your local game store. Again, it's whatever the market will bear. So if this is $200 or $250, don't be surprised.
I would be surprised if it wasn't.
Yeah.
Now, they note here, about the drop series. Like I said earlier, the drop series and the ultimate series. Their current Secret Lair drop series, the print-to-demand drops, like the Year of the Rat, International Women's Day, they quote-unquote don't work cleanly as traditional retail releases for a lot of logistical reasons. I'm going to keep calling that BS every time I see it. That's not true. That's 100% not true. If you wanted to make these things logistically viable in stores, they could make these things logistically viable. I don't hate against Wizards for want to make Hasbro happy. I'm just going to call it out when I see it, because that's how I am. Anyway, the point is, these are not like the drop series. It's only this way you get through it through your local game store. Stores will typically receive no more than 10 copies of it. So these are going to be super hot, super rare, usually super expensive. These aren't going to really reprint quote-unquote fetch lands. They're not going to make fetch lands any more affordable or any more available.
What's that? You don't think they're going to...
You can only get the grouping of 5 at your local game store.
You don't think they'll print them in the next standard?
Do you know how many people tagged me in this and were like, sorry, girl?
They did also mention that there will not be fetch lands in standard. They're still not okay with that.
Press F in chat. Rip.
Rip. Big rips.
My quick napkin math of prices suggests that this is $250 in fetch lands, going by the lowest price.
Right. Yeah, this is definitely a value at $165 based on market conditions currently. But again, that they didn't also, I believe, did they say something about the fetch lands being reprinted later this year? I don't think they did. But...
they said there is a possibility. This is not the last time you will see fetch lands this year either. While they will not be entering standard in 2020, let's put that rumor to rest right now. Cool. There will be another way to pick up some stylized versions of fetch lands later this year that will also be in your local game store. It's also the year of Commander, and many players enjoy these special lands with their multicolored decks. So
right. I would imagine that they will put one in each of the Commander decks that come out.
Ooh, that'd be hot.
Just like,
and yes, they can use the headline "Making Fetch Happen" because all the best jokes are from 2004. Sure. Yeah, which is fine. But this is ultimately Wizards doing the fetch lands.
I see what you did there.
But, regardless, this is like, yes, I'm happy for it. Yes, this is for the stores. So, like, high five for your local game store, certainly, who needs the help these days.
Yes.
But the idea, my suggestion, would have been to capitalize on what makes Secret Lair special, which is the get it now, get it while it's hot, make sure you get in there and get yours if you want it, which to me would have said, at certain locations, you have to go there, you have to physically order it at the store, so you're going to the LGS, you're talking to the LGS employees, you're meeting your local community as a result in some form or fashion, and this also is driving revenue for the stores get a number, they send the number to Wizards, you get your fetch lands in 6 weeks, who cares? As long as if I could order this for $165 and not worry about having to fight every other person in the store over it, which is you're going to have to now because they're getting a whopping 10, that could, not only increase the number of fetch lands out there in the world, but let you give it a good shot at getting this if you wanted it. Now it's a question mark. Now it's a coin flip. I hope I get them. Maybe.
Yeah.
If they're not $1 million.
I don't know why, but I really like the lily pads in the marsh flats. Just wanted to point
That's
those
super
out.
good.
We have a lot of lotuses in Magic.
Yeah.
Not enough lily pads. I need more lily
Absolutely.
pads in my life.
I'm definitely going to call him out on this packaging though. This was not necessary.
It's a lot.
This is 5 cards, y'all.
And
Giant
are we
foam
paying
thing.
shipping on this?
No, these are going to be at
It's in
your
the
local
stores.
game store. Yeah.
So okay, that's fine then.
Yeah. So the
So you're
game
going to
stores will have
immediately
them.
open it, throw the trash away, and then
Well, does the box reasonably hold like a cube or any? Is it like what
It
shape?
looks like
is
a
it?
giant foam insert that you can see on the webpage there.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
you might
but,
be able
like-
to reuse it, but
Right. So, on the webpage itself, you can see there this giant monster box. And maybe there's something under it. The Secret Lair series has also famously
Oh,
included...
that's true. They're gonna hide some stuff
Yeah.
under
Right.
it.
Yeah.
Secretly has famously included the stained glass planeswalkers from War of the Spark.
Right.
And they're kind of working their way through all of those at this point. And
whoever's typing, please stop.
eek.
One of you is just rattling away. Just
Oh, that I don't know. But either
Okay.
way,
It's not me.
yeah. But the point is, the super drop is happening or whatever, or the Secret Lair Ultimate Edition is happening. I hope it goes well for the stores. Let's move on.
Yep.
All right. Next pick up here, we have the unfortunate COVID-19 Roundup.
Right.
I can't.
This is called Gather the Townsfolk, but we have been encouraged to not gather
Right.
townsfolk.
So-
This is solitary confinement.
right.
Is
This
what
is
this is.
social distancing the townsfolk,
Yeah.
as it were. It's because there are basically, let's just say it this way: for the next couple of months, everything's canceled. That is the easiest way to put it, I think. All the Players Tour final stuff, all of the Grand Prix, MagicFests,
stores are closing.
And I'm
Mythic
sure
Invitationals.
everything in your, in your neighborhood, from neighborhood bistros to eight-person tournaments.
Bars. I live in
Bars,
Milwaukee,
yeah.
Wisconsin. Bars are closing. It's that serious.
Yeah, it's there's so much being canceled. It's tough, and note here, because they canceled these large Magic events, the people who were scheduled to work those large Magic events are not going to get paid at all. These were contract-based positions. Maria Bartholdi had posted just the other day, and I'm linked it here in the chat, and it'll be in the show notes too. Please keep your esports commentators and gig workers in mind. This is a massive, massive hit to their finances. They understand the action from Wizards. No one's arguing that, but it's very painful for her and others like her. And I went and supported Good Luck High Five. I encourage others to do so as well. They do good work, and they're great people. And so wish them nothing but the best.
The amount of losses I've seen is staggering. I follow many of these people on Facebook, and so I don't want to. I know that publicly they really haven't given like hard figures, but behind the scenes, there's one individual I follow who said that they lost about 7,000 in income from all of this. I have another friend who has chalked it up to almost 15,000 in income. Like the amount of income that these people have lost, seemingly overnight is devastating. And thank God they might be able to recoup it with like Twitch subs or Patreon, but still, just imagine having that comfort of going, okay, I have this money, and all of a sudden going, I am out, like just like that. Like I don't have that saved up in the bank. Like I don't know anybody who does, and so that is devastating. And I really feel for the people that are trying to cobble that back together somehow, and probably won't. Let's be honest. They're probably not going to make every cent of that back, and that's really tough.
Yeah, exactly. And it also removes opportunities. Corey Baumeister, who is Brad Nelson's brother, noted he was going to be a commentator for the Pro Tour Finals in Houston, which would have been a huge step in his career right there. Was really looking forward to trying out something he's dreamed of for so long. Big hit financially, but even more so getting to commentate with Marshall Sutcliffe was a big bonus for him.
Even if it's not your plan A, poor Allie Warfield, she was talking about how she, she has a part-time job at a college, I believe.
Yeah.
School shut down. And so, Magic's sort of like her plan B or her kind of side hustle. Well, that's out too. And so she was completely sunk by this on all fronts. And so even if it's not your primary gig, even if you're not, full time like Maria or Biscuit Jesus or whoever, even if it's still just a side hustle, it's still just a significant chunk of income when everything else is falling apart. You can normally say, okay, well, maybe my school is closed, I'll go do this. You can't even do that now. Like everybody's been affected by this.
Right.
I used to be one of those road warriors, someone who, I think I traveled at like 40 weekends a year. That one year I worked at Star City.
Mhm.
This is going to be a tough. This is going to be a tough one, folks. And we'll be here. Fortunately, Magic Mike's is minimally affected by this. I'll stay in my closet. But everybody's going to be affected by this for the next 1 to 3 to 6 to 18 months.
Yeah, I mean, when they're talking a year and a half before they can get a vaccine or whatnot, we're in this for the long haul, essentially. And this may not be the last series of events that are canceled, or certainly the end of what we've been hearing. There was a really interesting idea that came from Brian David Marshall, who said, a crazy idea for Wizards Magic, since if they don't do something, a lot of LGSs are going to go out of business in the next 6 months. And I mean, just almost even just restaurants. You think restaurants can stop for 2 months and just be okay? Like,
right, exactly.
Seriously, it's ridiculous.
I've seen restaurants that have been successful, like on the surface, like restaurants that you will go past, on a Friday night that have always appeared to be busy, that still shut down within a year. Like, the mortality rates for new restaurants is quite high.
Yeah.
Well,
and we're certainly going to have less news. Yeah. That is 100%.
We're going to take our time on these topics, y'all, because we can.
If you're a patron, we submitted an AMA document a while back. Feel free to add some questions to that, because Lord knows we might need to pull from that going forward.
We might have some time. All right. Well, anyway.
To summarize, well, are we staying on?
Well, BDM had this cool idea where he said, look, a lot of LGSs might go out of business in 6 months. He said, let players register their WPN location on Arena or Magic Online, and when they spend all that extra money, not going to LGSs but buying digital things, you can ship some of that to the stores. They're not going to do this. Just to be clear, there's no way Wizards
it's
going to do this.
It's a little fantastical, but it's sweet.
This is one of those, like, can you, like...
a nice idea.
There's so many things that are happening right now that help a lot of people, and there are people being generous or things that are happening. Like, for example, there's no caps on your internet usage on all of your networks at this point in time. And it's something they said they just couldn't handle, and the congestion would be too much. And it's like, nope, you can just use all the internet you want right now.
Right.
Because, and a lot of jobs that they said you can't do from home, well, you can do a lot from home.
It turns out everything is a social construct. You can do everything. Nothing matters except for food and shelter. Yep. And that's going to be life for the foreseeable future, everybody. The best thing that we can say is stay safe. Be sure to copy Evan whenever you're washing your hands.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Washing Your Hands.
And end with the honk. And and we'll... hope for the best. Yeah,
and we get to, there is, Good Guy Cardhoarder, a longtime sponsor of the show. Terrific, terrific opportunity, terrific outfit.
Friends of the show.
Absolutely. They had a response, / action list they had here that they're going to operate as normally as possible. Any loan program customer can request their account be placed in free status if the crisis has put you in a difficult financial position. That was not required. They didn't have to do that at all. Yeah. That's amazing. Help us help other loan program customers by returning cards you're not using. And if you've been thinking about trying MTGO, there's no time like the present, and be good to each other.
It's been, I hesitate to say nice because the circumstances are so grim, but it has been nice to see these sort of grassroots efforts to keep Magic going, to keep the gathering going. I know Eric Levine, L3 judge, excuse me. You gotta do that. You gotta put an elbow right there.
That's right in the elbow.
You gotta do the vampire. Mm-hmm. Eric Levine started a 10-ticket EDH Discord for people to play Commander together, because Lord knows we can't do that. I've seen more streams where people are getting those tilted cameras to play actual paper Commander together. Mm-hmm. It's a really good time to get into Magic Online right now. And so, there is some light, coming out of this, and that people still want to get together. They don't want this to keep them away from everybody, because the gathering is really the strong suit here. And it is warming my heart to see all of these efforts in place, and even tournaments. People like Pascal Maynard are organizing these events, and there was a young man on Twitter, Scooter222, who's a big Twitch fan, who organized a bunch of pros and got them to do a last-minute tournament too. And those are all really good examples of kindness and keeping people going.
And for those who want to try out Magic Online, literally yesterday, they have now halved the cost of upgrading your account from a free account to a official account where they give you unlocked chat, unlocked trade, additional store purchases and whatnot. So you can create your account for nothing and unlock all that stuff for just $5 instead of the normal $10, which was appreciated.
Mm-hmm.
Magic Online is in such a weird position, honestly, in like the ecosystem of Magic. It's hard to describe.
I mean, it was, and now it seems to be in a better position than live Magic is, at least for the next several months. Even before we had like the cutting of stuff to Grand Prix and saying goodbye to paper Magic a little bit in lieu of Arena. But now that there's the Cube's
coming back. That's awesome.
Like, by the way, I'm just so pleased that our sponsors are like people we like, right?
Yeah, it's a good feeling.
Isn't that great?
It's a good feeling when you can, look at a company that you rock with and be like, we're with good people, because, there's been, there have been some controversies in the past with other companies, and we'll certainly talk about another one coming up, but it's a good feeling to have sort of dodged all of that, where it's like,
cool
good
stuff
job,
for
Cardhoarder. Good stuff. Good job. Cool stuff.
Yeah, cool stuff's been super awesome.
And
working with
patrons and
employees.
subs like you.
Patrons and subs. But cool stuff lets me work from home. I'm very concerned. I have serious asthma issues, and this is a lung disease, and it scares the living crap out of me. Yeah. So there's that, and I appreciate that a lot. Either way, let's go ahead and keep on moving. Do note that you should look forward to April 2nd is what the Wizards Magic Twitter account said. They're hearing plenty of questions about when Ikoria previews begin. So April 2nd should be it, but
is when they're going to announce when they start.
Right.
So that's an announcement for an announcement, as is their custom.
As they're wont to do.
As they're wont to do. But this is really interesting. This is fun. Maro, Mark Rosewater, had put up an Ikoria teaser on his Tumblr blog, markrosewater.tumblr.com, blogatog, and it noted that while the previews don't start until then, he's going to do something he used to do all the time back in the Duelist.
It is cooped up.
What is?
Okay. We were in the Discord the other day, and I couldn't figure out if it was coop, C-O-O-P, or C-O-U-P. Thank you, Maro. It is coop.
It is cooped. Yes, like a bird coop, right?
Like a bird coop, as opposed to a military coup.
Yeah.
Got it. Thank you.
Government overthrowing. And for what it's worth, back in the day, if you didn't know, The Duelist was a magazine about magic.
Yes, and Scry.
Yes.
The first magazine I bought was
God.
A Duelist magazine that had Phyrexian Negator on the front.
Yeah.
And it was old. Right. They used to cut down trees, chop in little slices, put some words and images on them, and sell it to us. It was great. But they also did things like they would do things back in the day. They would say, in Mirage, there's going to be a 1-mana 12/12 trampler.
Right.
And that's
to do little teasers
like
that.
And that's technically true, but also didn't mention certain things. So things that are found in Ikoria include Magic's 7th Egg, a card with the text 4 or more times this game. That's fun.
Ugh, that's going to sound like miserable keeping track of.
Magic's largest power/toughness granting aura. Are we ready for +20/+20?
I was going to say, we have +8/+8. We have do we have +10/+10? I don't think we do. I think we just have Eldrazi Conscription.
I think it's Conscription is the biggest, so maybe +10/+10 will show up. A card with the text, quote, X is the number of times this creature has mutated.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, boy. Magic's 3rd and 4th card with 0 is even reminder text.
Awesome.
Oh, boy.
Come on, Void Winnower.
Yep.
There are 12 different types of counters inside
There are
this
actually
set.
13. They noted, Maro noted that he forgot loyalty.
Okay, so
12
he actual
plus
counters.
loyalty.
Okay.
A card that says choose a kind of counter at random.
Ugh.
Oh, boy.
Vomit.
Something out of bookkeeping.
A card with the text remove 8 foreshadow counters. Rare. And a cycle that players have been asking us to make for over 10 years. So we'll see that. We got new creature types, including Dinosaur Turtle, Shark Beast, Demon Kraken.
Oh,
that sounds awesome.
Demon Kraken.
I'm listening.
The Jaegers versus the Kaijus.
Look, and we have an elemental otter, but we don't have an elemental bear. Is that what we're doing here? Is that how? Is that really where we're going with this?
Evan.
I didn't realize. I didn't realize I needed Elemental Otter in my life until just this moment.
Jeez.
Brushwag is a creature.
Brushwag!
Who's
Brushwag!
that for?
I don't know. Hellion Horror.
Brushwag Squad
I love
coming
that.
back.
And oh my god, Nightmare Squirrel.
Okay, I was never really a squirrel person, but I'm listening now. I want to see what that's going to
Nightmare
be
Squirrel.
like.
A squirrel in a standard legal set. We did it. We did it. That's awesome. So these are the types of little teases that I absolutely love. I wish you would go back to this every set anyway. All this stuff is fun and neat and interesting, and it gets me excited about the set. And at least it's better than essentially is nothing, as it were.
Get on the Brushwagon.
Yeah. Let's see here. So the does anyone else? I do not hear any tapping. I hear there's a tapping issue. Does anyone else hear
That
tapping?
time it was me.
Was that
Usually
you?
it's not though.
All right, fair enough. Okay. So, Arena Brawl, and we had a fun conversation about this in the pre-show.
We did. That's all I can think about now.
If you're a patron, we're trying to get Aaron on the Arena train because it's good. It's a great program. It's fun match.
This actually really excites me because I've been really into Commander lately. I haven't touched a competitive format since like December, and so when I found out that Brawl was going to be free to play for the foreseeable future, I was like, okay, what do I need to do? And so the boys were giving me sort of a crash course in terms of like, how do I get from point A to point B? Like, what do I need to do to build a Brawl deck? And I think I've got it pretty much figured out. I've also thought of like recording this. So if you guys would love to see a series of me trying to figure out Arena on this road to a Brawl deck, let us know. And I'll absolutely record that and pump that out for you. But I'm actually really excited about this. I think it's something I can do. And this is probably the most excited I've been for Arena in a while. So we'll see where this goes.
There is an unwritten law of the internet that says whenever you say, do you want me to do some work? The internet goes, yes, yes.
You don't know that. They might be like, we're tired of this bitch. We don't want to see this.
I have never, ever seen someone respond to any of those types of questions with a no. Like, no, stay home. You're good. We're fine. Whatever.
I try not to assume that people want to see what I do.
If you're a first-time viewer of Magic Mics and have never touched Arena, first of all, welcome. Second of all, get yourself to magic.gg, and in the upper right-hand corner, you can just click the Play Now button. From that point on, the program will just take you. You don't really need anyone else to explain anything to you.
Wow.
We were trying to, give you a little bit of a tour, but you kind of just got to walk through it with Blippi, the little flying.
Yeah, the magical.
I'm excited. I already know like what commander I think I want to build, and I was kind of going through Gather as we were getting ready to go, and like I think I see where this is going, and it's like okay, so I'm brewing.
Yeah, Sparky is the name of that little magical orb.
Oh, Sparky's the cat that you can click on, right?
Sparky's the magical orb that takes you through the instructional stuff. Pinchy McStingbutt is the scorpion.
I'm sorry, what?
Pinchy McStingbutt?
Oh, the little scorpion thing.
The scorpion that crawls
Got
across.
it.
I don't know if the cat has a name.
Yeah, I'm not sure if the cat has a name or if the weird Jace puppet thing does either.
Oh, I love the puppet thing. Okay, I'm in.
Yeah, the Jace puppet thing is dope.
Yeah, but it costs, it's pretty expensive. It's like $10 or something. Either way, if you want it, it's yours. Do note that on Monday, there was someone who had previously worked for Wizards, said, like, I'm no longer WotC staff, but
my friend Aaron.
Oh, Aaron, would be nice to, have Brawl be free on Arena. Currently, you had to pay them 10,000 gold for the privilege of being able to play Brawl whenever you want. Now, you can play Brawl right now as we're recording this on Wednesdays, but that was it. As of midnight Pacific time, you were done. You couldn't play any more Brawl for free. But now, starting tomorrow, this is March 19th, they're going to give you more ways to play Magic from the comfort and safety of your own home. The Brawlers Guild Hall event for March will have no entry fee and will be available from March 19th through April 16th. And the Theros Beyond Death rank draft is going to come back available from March 19th through April 16th, in addition to their regular bi-weekly rotating ranked draft event. So that's really awesome. Again, as of tomorrow, you can play that for free, and you get the free card that you get. You get, I think, a Gitrog monster.
Yep, Gitrog.
Just for winning one match. That's all you need to do is just win one match.
But you can't use it in Brawl. You can only use it in Historic Brawl.
Right. Because it's not in Standard, but it can be used later.
Well, I can use my wrists in Standard Brawl. I can also use Talrand in Standard Brawl. But
You said I
Gitrog
couldn't use it
Monster-
in his
Oh, I
standard.
thought you couldn't. Well, that's weird. Either way.
Gitrog Monster.
Because if
I
you can
think
build
is
Gitrog
only
and Brawl,
historic. I think
I'm
it's
signing up
only
tonight.
historic for
That's-
Gitrog.
Please, chat,
Okay.
let us know, because I have
That's
not played enough Brawl
Let
to
me
know.
know, because that's a huge
Oh, you
deciding
can
factor.
use Gitrog in
You
Brawl.
can use Gitrog and Brawl, girl.
You guys were just trying to keep me from my Golgari
So
love.
I know there
Burying
is
the
an
lead over
infinite.
here.
I
You
think
were
I
like,
saw
no, Aaron, you can't.
there was a historic infinite combo with Gitrog Monster in Brawl because I
Sure.
got comboed out one
All
game.
right, Mama's
With-
playing Gitrog.
It was Gitrog Monster, Underrealm Lich, Gaia's Blessing, and Desecrated too,
Nice.
I'm
which
excited.
made
Okay.
infinite bats.
All right.
So, MTGmelee.com is a sweet, sweet website that allows you to sign up for online Magic Arena tournaments. And they currently have one, for example, this Friday at 7 o'clock Eastern Time is
Nice.
a $200 Magic event that you can enroll in, and you can play against all the players in the event and whatnot. And they run it, as I understand it, through this website entirely, where you report your results and it pairs you and all that good stuff through the website itself. So MTGmelee.com, there was an event recently that Matt Sperling had won.
Hey,
Yeah. That got everybody's lunch money and took first place in their first MTG versus COVID-19 tournament, which was fun. But yeah, this is the ability to play more, tournament Magic when there's not a lot of tournament Magic going around, not a lot of high stakes.
Yeah, it's a
stuff.
way to give, and it's a way to give pros something to do. It's a way to give them some visibility to kind of keep their names out there. To maybe win a couple dollars in the meantime. I think this is great.
Yeah, it's
rough time to be sick of it, but it's a good job to Matt Sperling for winning, and I'm excited that there are more ways to get your competitive jimmies out.
Absolutely, the Jimmy's got to go.
Yeah.
Elemental Bears. All
You
right,
gotta
Elemental
rustle your
Bears.
jimmies somehow.
Yeah, you do. Get rustling.
I'm gonna sit this one out.
It's fine. It's for the pre-show.
You know what's not rustling my jimmies?
Hey-o.
Did you see they CFB published another article from Reed that was packaged as this legacy primer, where again they've got him telling people how to board against graveyard decks. Like, knock that off. Like,
How dare they?
I just
How dare they?
It's not like graveyard decks are even that good or popular.
I know, right? There was a recent Paulo Vitor Damo de Rosa AMA.
that's a tongue twister.
Our new world champion. And he answers all sorts of questions. And the one I like to highlight here was they had asked him, hey, you get your own card, right? They actually get to put Magic players on cards again.
Yeah.
I absolutely love that. Magic Esports jumped in and said, don't worry, we're going to make a video on the design process, highlighting what goes into making the world championship
cool.
winner's signature card, which makes me go, well, what happened with Javier Dominguez? Can we get the video on how that showed up? Because I would love to hear the story. I don't.
Yeah.
It's
no,
weird
no,
how we.
no video, just a card.
It's fine.
They probably realized how cool it was and how interesting it was, and that it was just kind of content that didn't require a ton of setup. You just record Paulo helping.
Yeah.
Set up, and there might have also been privacy concerns, because even in the thread, Paulo was like, I don't know what much I'm supposed to say here. And so they might have been concerned about that too, and
Sure.
eventually realized, like, okay, we can show you a little something without, pulling everything out of the hat.
Right. But, obviously I look forward to whatever Paulo Vitor is going to be on, and I'm sure they're going to integrate the cool trophy again, which is going to be neat. They didn't make Javier's card bad by any means.
Right. No.
Fervent Champion is a tournament staple, honestly, in the red decks.
Yeah.
So that's great. So make him a good card so we get to play with Paulo Vitor sometime next year.
That's right.
Moving on here to one Sheldon Menery, one of the architects of Commander. Good guy Sheldon. Unfortunately, got some not so great news. Noted that one lung nodule growing to the point that they've changed status from stable to progressing, which is obviously bad in cancer terms. Still have options before traditional chemo. New treatment starting in a few weeks. As always, thanks in advance for your love and support. And of course, it's all love and good thoughts and good vibes always sent to Mr. Menery. He is terrific people.
Yeah.
So
Sheldon's a
Sheldon-
survivor.
Yep, sorry.
No, Sheldon's a survivor, godfather of Commander. One of my favorite memories of him, just finally being able to meet him at Command Fest DC, and the man having a literal waiting list. Like if you wanted to approach him, he would just point to this notebook and like, oh, okay, and it says wait list. Like that's just gangsta. Like you just have nothing bad.
You just take a number, all right? You're taking it right over there.
I did, and I was like, oh, okay.
Sheldon is commonly pointed to as creator of Commander, at least one of the co-creators.
One of the, yeah.
Also, level 5 emeritus judge for a long time now.
Oh, yeah.
Been retired as he's effectively level 6, if that means anything. And been making Magic content since before I started, which is at least 13 years ago, 12 years ago.
Yeah. He's been writing for almost 20 years now. It's been a long, long time.
Yeah.
And again, just one of the sort of the pillars of the Magic community. Not just, a guy who made Commander or whatever. Like, no, man, Sheldon's very important, and it would be an incredible loss. So let's wish all the good vibes. Make it happen. I'm sure it'll be good in the future.
No more sicknesses, just of any kind. Just no more cancer, no more COVID. Get rid of it all.
That's right. Shout out to Dana Roach.
Yes!
100 episodes of the EDH Rec podcast.
Wow.
And we have ourselves a tattoo.
Dana's amazing. I had the pleasure of being on their show once before. It is Dana, Joey Schultz, and their friend Matt. And I believe that's who's on it. I just want to make sure. I'm such a jerk.
Oh, no. Well, I got the tattoo on the screen here.
Yes, Joey, Dana, and Matt. And I was on their show, and they're delightful. I've had the pleasure of playing with Dana at various Commander events. We played together in Vegas and Command Fest Chicago, and just a delightful human being. And, what else can you say about people who love their show so much that they tattoo their logo on them? Like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
you know what that infers, right? We're over 200 episodes in. That means we have to get it on like our butt or something. That's like you got to get something.
Not doing
you
it.
can like tag that thing and be like pow right on the magic mic. Pow.
I've decided. I already knew. Well, I've had this conversation with y'all. I'm not getting a tattoo ever. I'm not
did I ever tell you about my tattoo that I've always fantasized about?
No.
So I don't know if I'm such a wimp when it comes to pain. I've always fantasized about getting a Narcomoeba tattoo, like right here on like my shoulder. And the way the art is done, it would look like it's coming out of me. Like if you cut me open, Narcomoebas would come out. And like,
so when you die, you'll come right back onto the battlefield.
Or I would just erupt into a bunch of Narcomoebas. Just
there you go.
Like that'd be really cool.
So neither of you all have tattoos, is that correct?
I have a belly ring and that's it.
Nope, no tattoos, no piercings.
Oh, good. Well, I got a terrible tattoo. Right here. You ready? Right here? Yeah, right there. Look at that.
What is it?
That is what they would describe as a piece of flash, which is also known as something on the wall that I decided to get. And that is the symbol for Libra.
You are pale.
Thank you.
Are you a Libra?
Yes, I am in fact a Libra.
I'm a Libra too.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm a Virgo. Okay.
Right, which is right there on the cusp.
Oh,
so,
okay.
yeah, so that was one of those things I got when I was 18 years old. It's very faded now.
Yeah.
It probably wasn't the best decision at the time, but I was like, I was 18. Wow. I do what I want.
So
I want to get a
if
tattoo.
you want to do a Magic Mike's tattoo,
yes,
we'll film that and post the video somewhere.
Right. Can I do that instead of get a pie to the face?
Can
I negotiate my way out of the pie?
Can we tattoo a pie onto your?
Goodness, there are options, and all I'm saying is, if this were to be covered up with with a Magic Mike's logo or something right there, it'd look a lot cooler than this thing I saw on the wall that gets very little respect because that sounds silly.
At the Waffle House one time.
Yep. So I'm the only one tatted here. That's kind of crazy.
Evan's the bad boy of the show.
That's right.
Can't keep up with me.
Everybody knows I'm a small child. You can't be terribly surprised that I don't have.
You don't have needles in you constantly.
Ruben's a fragile boy.
That's right.
Moving on here to Desperate Ravens.
I'm baby.
Goodness.
As the kids say.
Wow. TCG players. Card-wielding warehouse workers are fighting to unionize, which is interesting in its own right. We have the TCG Union Twitter account now exists, and where there are workers for TCG Players Warehouse that have gone together, signed to form a union, around the what's the name of this one? It's like SEIU or something. Is that correct?
Something like that.
Yes, SEIU 200 United, which includes 15,000 janitors, skilled trades, direct support, food service workers, EMTs, faculty, the whole kit and caboodle to be a part of that to help essentially negotiate for better wages, better benefits, so on and so forth, to be able to have a seat at the bargaining table, as it were. A lot of goods and bads that are potentially here. One is, as I understand it, they work in an at-will state. For example, Virginia and Florida are similar, where the business can let you go for any time and for any reason. They don't have to explain why they're letting you go. They just be like, we're just going to part ways now. The door's right there. And that is a concern for those who work there, just to start off.
Well, this is a fascinating storyline, and one that I've been loosely keeping up with for a while. So back in 2018, 2019, TCG Player just built this massive new workplace for themselves. This very gorgeous gamer-themed building that cost a lot of money. They got a huge infusion from their investors. They went on a huge hiring boom, and then in 2019, they laid off a bunch of people, which was even more damaging because in that hiring boost, they specifically went after women, which is a good thing. Like, they wanted to get more women on board, but ultimately when those layoffs came, those women were the majority of people who were laid off. And we're at a really interesting time in our culture where people really want to feel good about the companies they're supporting, and they really want to know that their workers are being taken care of. And the reality is, even a job like this one does come with its disadvantages, and the meticulousness of it all, and being on your feet as much as you are, and doing things with your hands, and leaning over, looking at card condition, being hunched over. And so, they do have some solid grievances here. And it's a time right now where people are really particularly aware of class and things of that nature. And so, they have some valid arguments. They just want to be heard. And, it does seem like people on Twitter are listening. I've seen a number of people saying they're not going to, shop at TCG until this is acknowledged, because the union's been swatted down pretty quickly by TCG Player. They're just not having it. And so hopefully there can be some resolution there. And I think now is as good a time as any to bring up a concern like this, when people are so hyper aware of class and differences like that.
Right. As I understand it, the way it works is you essentially organize a percentage of the workforce to sign on for let's make this happen, and the company has to voluntarily recognize it. And if they don't, you have to have a vote amongst the employees that 50% plus one have to have been for it, and then at that point it has to be recognized legally. And then of course there's the whole, then that spirals out into, are unions good? Are unions bad? Unions just add cost. Unions just get people in trouble. The union didn't do anything for me when I was a part of one. The union takes all these dues and doesn't pay it back or whatever. There's a whole variety of narratives going on. Are there any
other major Magic the Gathering retailers that are unionized?
Not that I'm aware of.
I don't know.
No, I don't
right.
So.
This is the first I've heard of it.
Brave New World.
Yeah. And it's interesting in that regard, and we'll see where it goes, and whatever happens.
It's pretty groundbreaking. Like, this is the first. I mean, when you just asked us, is there any other company that's doing this? I don't know of any who is. So this is a story I'm definitely going to continue to watch. I think this could be pretty groundbreaking in terms of this becoming a thing, just like we're seeing happening on the larger stage. We're seeing jobs that used to be sort of scoffed at are now being seen as heroes, and rightfully so. Like, we're seeing grocery store workers and all these other things, and I think that these are essential jobs that people might say, oh, you're just plucking cards or whatever, but this is crucial, and we love getting the cards in our decks. Well, those people deserve to be taken care of. And, yeah.
And and there's definitely goods and bads about unions. I've definitely seen the goods.
Not the time or the place.
And this is not where we're going to dive deep into the history of labor laws and stuff. We're just saying this is the thing at TCG Player. Yes, it happened. TCG Player did not voluntarily accept it and move into the next category.
Well, we'll see how it develops. Yeah.
Speaking of desperate ravings and really awful, awkward crap happening, Jeremy from Missouri MTG, who was going to hold the Legacy $20,000 event with a
I know,
buy-in of
right?
$200 and only 100 people could play. They're
And sold out immediately.
Yeah, sold out in mere minutes. I think like 30 minutes or something
Yeah.
ridiculous. Just poof, gone. He's canceling the Legacy 20K as the venue and himself has reached a mutual agreement and are invoking force majeure. I will be reaching out to every single participant for a refund and so on. He apologizes for the inconvenience, and it didn't take long before he got his first death threat. What is wrong with you people? Come on, really?
So, yeah, I mean, there's not much to add to that.
I mean,
right? Just don't do that.
I mean, first of all, I should not have to tell you not to do that. But if you
Right.
need to be told, don't do that.
Feel for Jeremy. I mean, really took the initiative to provide a service that the Magic the Gathering community was desperately asking for, and became the guy to provide it. And yeah, I mean, just like a lot of people in our current situation, kind of not going to work out great.
But in the good guy Jeremy category, he did note, "Judge on staff, please contact me to receive your pay regardless of the event firing." Which it did not have to do, was not required.
What a nice man.
Absolutely terrific. So high five on that. And don't send death threats to people, you weirdos. That's really bad.
I remember my first death threat.
Don't we all?
Am I the only one that hasn't received? Oh no, I did receive a death threat once.
Okay.
Never mind.
Well,
I thought I
good.
hadn't. I thought I was
you're
still
part of the crew.
baby.
Typical Ruben, just kind of lucking into things, being like, "What?"
Just ridiculous.
What? Who else but Ruby?
Didn't have it.
Yeah.
A funny bit here about Arena, and you may find this happening to you, Aaron, at one point or other. Someone accidentally queued into a historic match.
Oh, see, there's your problem. I would.
You might just accidentally the whole historic match. You never know. And when they meant to play standard, but it affected their standard rank.
No, see, I probably wouldn't play standard though. Like historic could be
Well,
my
you
jam,
wouldn't
but...
on purpose.
But if there was if there was a rating for your standard play and you played a vintage event and it affected your standard ranking, you'd be like, what? Why? Doesn't make any sense.
It's like you accidentally go into like a standard match with your Brawl deck.
But like, okay, so here's the thing though, but like, I'll be the bad guy here. It's fine.
Go for it.
So I'm looking at this tweet and I'm like, it's ridiculous, but what would you like to have? Would you like to be a safeguard, or would you like?
Both teams played hard and both teams made mistakes. All right. So we accidentally queued into the wrong format.
Okay.
Right? We brought our standard deck to a historic match. The thing is, we lost our historic match.
I understand that, but the tweet is worded as if to say that she thinks something should have happened to have stopped her from doing that. Like, what would you like to see? Like,
I don't think that's realistic. And note, I want to be clear. Thank you to the chat. There's no such thing as a standard rank. It's just a constructed ranking.
Okay,
so this is a constructed format, and I can see how that's.
I feel bad for her, but at the same time, like, what is she looking to have happen? Like, is she looking for confirmation? Like, do you want to queue for blah, or like, what is she going for here?
I don't know. They just didn't like how it affected their constructed rank when they played in a constructed queue. Apparently,
when I miss my exit on the highway, I want a second chance exit. You know what I mean?
Right. You want a second exit. It's like a second breakfast.
Get a second chance exit. It's
right.
just like not enough.
So today, this announcement to me just came literally out of nowhere. There was an announcement here. Moving on here to splash damage. I'm gonna get it up here on the screen.
Oh, I know those people.
Yeah, a long time buddy of mine. We have Brian Dave Marshall that we were talking about just a minute ago. The Tezos co-founder, I don't even know what Tezos is, turns to gaming.
Those are the kind of dollars you can give to us by subscribing. Give us
those are Tezos
bucks. Bezos.
Oh, right.
That's Bezos.
Well, they're turning to gaming with a Hearthstone competitor, and this is taking the Emergence IP, which has come from Brian David Marshall. He's made a deck builder about this already, and he's teaming up there, as you can see on the screen, with Zvi Mauschwitz, Hall of Famer.
Zvi always has the baggiest t-shirts. I
was trying not to say it.
I don't understand.
I just.
He just always is wearing, like, I understand that he's lost 150 pounds since he was Big Zvi,
which is good.
But like,
right. Well, that was many years ago, as I understand it. Also,
and Pro Tour, what is this? Dragons of Tarkir.
Mm-hmm.
I think that he had already lost the weight by that point. So, I don't know,
yes. Man. Oh, yes. Well, look, this is Kos here. Let's see. And
it's a 5-letter word, Evan.
There's a problem. Kos, a company launched by Tezos co-founder Kathleen Brightman, is the new game Emergence. And there is an alpha version that's going to open up to a few in early April. It comes to the market for online card games, is now $2 billion in size, and obviously is doing pretty well with the coronavirus.
It's like comic book feet. This is nice.
Oh yeah. And notes that, you know, there's big players. There's Magic the Gathering. There's Hearthstone, and this is different because it's going to use the blockchain, which might as well be called ethereal something in the air. I don't know enough about it. It's
like
kind of weird.
Magic the Bitcoining.
But I do like the part where it says Emergence will take a radically simple approach, let people buy the cards they want. Thank you. Like, I'm on board with that.
Sure. And the cards can be sold back to the company at something like 95% of their value. Quote, one of the things we wanted to take advantage of with this blockchain technology is giving people the opportunity to feel really smart, said BDM. So, for example, there could be a card that looks just okay to most players, but any longtime player of Magic knows the value of cards can change overnight as the community learns the game. And if some player built a deck that did great things with that card, word would get around, and obviously its value would go up. And so you would feel smart by buying it low and selling it high. Okay,
perfect.
Cool. Now, users can trade directly, because this is crypto, and people will be able to set up exchanges for the cards as well. I don't know exactly what that means. I just don't know exactly what that means.
Yeah, me neither.
But the founders hope the user experience of buying and selling cards through Kos. What is Kos? Is this a platform?
Company.
That's a company?
No, that's the company that Brightman founded, I think.
Okay. Will be good for players that will primarily rely on their markets. So that's interesting. Now, there's a few things that are kind of neat here, and I'm going to jump through the article a little bit. Because, for example, Zmauschwitz says, our cards have memory. What does that mean?
Yes. That's the blockchain.
Right. A card could have a record. Go ahead.
It's like if every Magic card, like you open up a pack of Magic cards, and you stamp the Magic card with your personal stamp.
Oh, is this like back in the day when we had the library and you'd like you put your name on the card that you checked it out? Okay.
Exactly. And then you trade it to, I would trade my card to Aaron, and then Aaron would stamp it, and then Aaron would trade it to Evan, and Evan would stamp it. And even though this is a digital object,
I just realized there are people in the chat that don't know what I'm talking about when it comes to library books having the card in the back. They're like, what sorcery is that? Like,
they just scan the barcode and you go home.
Not a Magic the Gathering library, an actual brick and mortar library.
They used to have cards in the back that you'd have to sign your book out.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, you know, you'd put your name on a little line, put a little date there. Yes! It was adorable.
Look, Zmauschwitz is like top 5 smartest human beings on the planet.
He's a smart dude.
BDM has designed more games than I will ever play. And so if anyone is going to create a combination of Magic the Gathering and Ethereum that will come together and be successful, it's going to be these folks.
Right. So ultimately the idea is that you could say something like, this card, this exact digital object was used to win a world championship, and you can denote that. You could have, you know, that will be in that card's history, and sometimes that matters to people to have the exact, just like you would, you know, just like you'd have the foil stamped Tarmogoyf, right? Like from that famous moment in Magic. Well, that's kind of what you could have here, is something that is digitally stamped as being part of a very special event. All in all, this is one of those where this is not the first game I've heard of already that's trying to use the blockchain to have its collectible elements be tracked and traded and sold. I think part of it also comes down to the game design. One of the things we didn't actually mention was, you know, there's a game behind this, right? Like, it's kind of like yet another digital type of card game. It looks very similar to all of the digital card games that currently exist. There are lots and lots, way more than just Arena and Hearthstone. So this is going into a very crowded field. I mean, Legends of Runeterra just released in open beta a couple months ago.
How is that doing?
It's doing okay. I've not been playing it as much. I played it for a good couple weeks, and I kind of got the feel of it, and it's not bad. It's got some neat elements, but ultimately, I'm playing Magic again, you know what I mean? And I'm more excited about building more Brawl decks than I am going back to play Legends of Runeterra. So take that for what you want. Okay. Let's see here. One last bit here. If you've not heard of the YouTube channel Toy Galaxy, it is excellent, and they do awesome videos about old toys, old TV shows, old cartoon shows, and whatnot. If you've never heard of them, they're absolutely terrific, and I would highly recommend them. They have a history of Magic, which I personally wasn't blown away by, but that's also because I've done history shows on Magic, so I know the ins and outs. And
exactly. I'm sure you're going to enjoy their video on Ball and Stick a lot more than you're going to enjoy their video on Magic the Gathering, because you're a Magic the Gathering expert.
Right. But, to learn things like about Mask, which was a huge cartoon when I was a kid, I loved that. And Captain Power, which is another thing that I got for Christmas one year and was just the coolest thing ever. Watch those videos. They're great. I loved it. That was sweet. But they did one on Magic, which is great. So anywhere we can get into like the Muggle territory of they may not have heard of Magic is always a positive. That said, let's move on here and turn the corner to the finisher. The big story in Magic was the same as the big story everywhere this week: social distancing. People across the globe have been encouraged to stop, separate, and listen to the CDC's recommendations to keep a distance from each other and avoid groups. But as gamers and Twitch streamers, we're bred for this sort of thing. So now that the gathering has been forcefully subtracted from Magic how do you plan to spend your Magic hours, Ruben?
Magic has been drifting away from live events like Grand Prix and Pro Tours for more than a year now. So it's no shock to me that they'll be turning their entire focus to Arena. So I plan to spend much of my days in Brawl events. And since I'm probably not going outside again till August, it's one of the few, and since it's one of the few formats where it's still legal, there's going to be a real veil of summer the whole time.
Heyo. Aaron?
Well, Magic Online is going strong, and with Cube, Commander, and Vintage Queues waiting for me, I know where I'm spending my time while spending some alone time together with everyone else. And I've been meaning to play some more Enchantress, which means I'll be getting as much solitary confinement as I can handle.
Heyo. Goodness. Well, look. Well, things are tough for everyone. But fortunately for me, the #5kids, plus myself and Carrie, don't constitute a law breach. So I plan to spend some time doing what my pappy used to do when he needed to clear his head. Get out the tools, go out back, and work on my deck. That's right. It's funny, my dad actually did go out and build a deck when I was a kid.
Build a new deck.
Yeah, very, very nice. And that ends another live episode of Magic Mics. Thanks for joining us here to discuss all things Magic. Thank you, Aaron.
Thank you for having me, and wash your damn hands.
Wash them. Just think.
Get the webbing, get the nails.
The first 20 seconds of the show, it's all you got.
I'm looking at those nails.
Aim with that hump.
Don't do that.
Thank you, Ruben.
Stay safe, everybody.
That's right. Move here to our final slide. I want to thank our sponsor, CoolStuffInc.com, our co-sponsor, Cardhoarder.com, my co-hosts, Aaron Campbell and Ruben Bressler. You guys for watching or listening. I hope you support us at patreon.com/magicmics. Please follow, like, tweet, favorite, share, subscribe to everything social that tells people we exist. Catch us online on our Discord, twitch.tv at Magic Mics, on Twitter at Magic Mics Cast, our Magic Mics subreddit, and like the Magic Mics page on Facebook. Talk to us privately at magicmicspodcast@gmail.com. Follow the audio-only podcast at magicmicspodcast.libsyn.com, or find us on iTunes, or join us here next week. Same time, same place, for another episode of Magic Mics. Good night, everybody.